The world is full of famous places, names we hear again and again. But beyond the postcards, there are wonders that never made the headlines. These are incredible landmarks you've never heard of. Welcome to Lost Beyond the Map. As the sun rises over Bangkok, light touches a temple shaped by devotion, time, and myth. This is Wat Arun. Named after Aruna, the ancient symbol of the rising sun, stands as a meeting place of faith, culture, and time. Shaped by Indian, Chinese, and Khmer influences, its design weaves together Hindu and Buddhist symbolism, reflecting the spirit and identity of Siam. Though the temple's origins stretch back to the 17th century, its iconic prang was raised in the early 1800s during the reigns of Kings Rama II and Rama III. During the time of the Ayutthaya Kingdom, it was known as Wat Bang Makok, later Wat Makok, named for the village that once surrounded it. Its presence was so enduring that it appeared on French maps as early as the 17th century. After the fall of Ayutthaya, King Taksin passed this site at dawn. Legend says he vowed to restore the temple, renaming it Wat Chayeng, the Temple of Dawn. And for a time, it housed Thailand's most sacred treasure, the Emerald Buddha. As capitals shifted and palaces moved across the river, the temple was abandoned until new life was breathed into it under Kings Rama II and Rama III. After years of construction, the Great Prang was completed in 1851, rising as a symbol of renewal, faith, and resilience. Inspired by ancient Khmer architecture, the tower is encrusted with thousands of fragments of colorful porcelain, once used as ballast on ships arriving from China, now transformed into sacred art. Reaching more than 60 meters into the sky, the prang is surrounded by 4 smaller spires, their surfaces alive with shells, faience, and intricate design, a testament to craftsmanship rooted in the Ayutthaya era. Crowning the tower is a 7-pronged trident, often called the Trident of Shiva, while figures of ancient soldiers, animals, and gods watch over its terraces. Beside the prang, the ordination hall shelters the Nirameter Buddha, guarded by demons, surrounded by marble murals and quiet reverence. Here, stone and porcelain become belief, and architecture becomes devotion. Learning a new language? Meet LingChat, the AI that chats, corrects, and coaches you in real conversations, anytime, anywhere. Personalized, fun, and actually effective. Click the link in the description to get fluent faster with AI. In one of the most remote places on Earth, stone faces rise from the land. These are the Moai. Carved between the years 1250 and 1500, the Moai of Rapa Nui are among the most striking human figures ever created in stone. Shaped by the Rapa Nui people from volcanic rock, these monolithic statues rise from one of the most remote islands on Earth, deep in the eastern Pacific. Nearly half of the Moai remain at Rano Raraku, the volcanic crater where they were carved. Others, hundreds of them, were transported across the island and set upon stone platforms called ahu, positioned along the coastline. From there, they faced inward, gazing over the lands and communities they were meant to protect. Each Moai is unmistakable. Their massive heads account for nearly half of their total size, their bodies are elongated, and their forms end without legs. These were not portraits of ordinary people. To the Rapa Nui, the Moai were the Aringa Ora, the living faces of deified ancestors, believed to hold spiritual power and influence the world of the living. When Europeans first arrived on Rapa Nui in 1722, the statues were still standing. But by the late 19th century, every Moai had fallen. Many were deliberately toppled during periods of internal conflict, possibly worsened by the arrival of outsiders and the upheaval that followed. The scale of their creation remains extraordinary. More than 900 moai were carved, moved, and raised without metal tools or wheeled vehicles. The tallest statue ever erected, known as Pero, stood nearly 10 meters high and weighed over 80 tons. Another, at Ahu Tongariki, weighed even more. One unfinished moai still lies in the quarry. Had it been completed, it would have towered over the island at more than 20 meters tall. Even today, new moai continue to be uncovered. Silent, weathered, and enduring, they remain guardians of memory, standing between myth, history, and stone. In the heart of Delhi, a monument rises where empire meets eternity. This is Humayun's tomb. Humayun's tomb rises in Delhi as both a resting place and a beginning. Built for the Mughal Emperor Humayun, it was commissioned in 1558 by his widow, Empress Bega Begum, whose vision shaped one of the most influential monuments in Indian history. Designed by Persian architects Mirak Mirza Ghiyas and his son Sayyid Muhammad, the tomb introduced a new architectural language to the subcontinent. It was the first garden tomb in India, set within a formal charbagh meant to evoke paradise. Towering red sandstone walls, used here on an unprecedented scale, enclosed a space where symmetry, water, and geometry became expressions of imperial order. The site marked a turning point, far more ambitious than earlier Mughal burials, and a clear departure from the modest tomb of Humayun's father, Babur. The complex stands near Purana Kila, the citadel Humayun once founded, and along a historic landscape shaped by centuries of rule. Approaching the main mausoleum, visitors pass older monuments, including the tomb of Isa Khan Niazi, built 2 decades earlier by a noble who once opposed the Mughals. Inside the main chamber lie not only Humayun, but generations of Mughal royalty, among them Empress Bega Begum, Dara Shikoh, and several later emperors. The tomb became a dynastic sanctuary, its influence echoing through Mughal architecture for centuries. Inspired by the Gur-e Amir in Samarkand, the mausoleum set the template for royal tombs that followed, reaching their pinnacle in the Taj Mahal. Chosen for its proximity to the revered Sufi shrine of Nizamuddin Auliya, the site fused imperial ambition with spiritual significance. Even in decline, the monument remained central to history. During the Indian Rebellion of 1857, the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, sought refuge here before his capture and exile. Today restored and protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Humayun's tomb stands not only as a grave, but as the moment Mughal architecture found its voice. In the heart of ancient Rome, a monument to power and leisure still stands in ruin. These are the Baths of Caracalla. The Baths of Caracalla once rose as one of ancient Rome's greatest achievements, second in scale only to the Baths of Diocletian. Built in the early 3rd century during the reigns of Septimius Severus and his son Caracalla, they were designed not merely as baths, but as monuments to imperial power and public life. Within these vast walls, Romans gathered to bathe, exercise, and socialize, surrounded by marble halls, towering vaults, and flowing water engineered on a colossal scale. For more than 300 years, the complex remained active, serving the city until the decline of the empire in the 6th century. When the baths fell into ruin, their influence did not fade. Their immense spaces and structural innovations inspired generations of architects, from the Basilica of Maxentius in ancient Rome to grand modern landmarks like New York's original Pennsylvania Station and Chicago Union Station. Even in fragments, their legacy endures. Masterpieces such as the Farnese Bull and the Farnese Hercules were recovered from these ruins, reminders of the artistic ambition that once filled these halls. Construction of the Baths of Caracalla began under Emperor Septimius Severus and was completed by his son Caracalla, opening in AD 216. Built in southern Rome, the massive complex replaced an earlier aristocratic estate, whose remains were buried and reused as foundations. The scale was immense. Thousands of tons of material were installed daily, supported by aqueducts and heated by underground furnaces that warmed the floors and pools above. Hidden beneath the baths, older Roman houses still survive, preserving traces of life that predated the empire's grand vision. Free and open to the public, the Baths of Caracalla were more than a place to bathe. They were a statement of power, engineering, and shared civic life in ancient Rome. On the endless plains of Mongolia, a figure rises above the horizon. This is the equestrian statue of Genghis Khan. Rising from the vast Mongolian steppe, the Genghis Khan equestrian statue stands 40 meters tall, steel, silence, and history frozen in motion. Cast in stainless steel and mounted on horseback, it is the tallest equestrian statue in the world, dominating the open land near the Toul River at Sonjin Bulldog, east of Ulaanbaatar. According to legend, it was here that Genghis Khan found a golden whip, an omen of destiny. Today, the statue faces east, toward his birthplace, symbolically watching over the land that shaped him. The monument rests atop a 10-meter-high visitor complex, encircled by 36 massive columns, each representing a Khan who ruled from Genghis Khan to Ligdan Khan. Designed by sculptor D. Erdenebeleg and architect J. Enkjargal, the statue was unveiled in 2008 to commemorate the 800th anniversary of the founding of the Mongol Empire. Visitors enter the monument itself, walking through the horse's chest and neck to reach its head. From there, the steppe unfolds in every direction, an endless horizon that mirrors the reach of the empire that once stretched across continents. The surrounding grounds are planned to include 200 traditional jurs, arranged in patterns inspired by the horse brand marks of 13th century Mongol tribes, reconnecting modern visitors with nomadic heritage. Within the complex, a museum traces Mongolia's deep past, from Bronze Age and Xiongnu cultures to the height of the Great Khan's rule, displaying tools, ornaments, sacred symbols, and relics of a world that reshaped history. Set within a 212-hectare landscape, the statue is more than a monument. It is a declaration of legacy, etched in steel, grounded in myth, and rooted in the land itself. At the heart of Berlin, a tower rises above history, built in an era of division. This is the Fernsehturm. Constructed between 1965 and 1969, the Fernsehturm was built by the German Democratic Republic, designed not only as a broadcasting facility, but as a powerful symbol. A statement of ideology, a declaration of presence. Positioned beside Alexanderplatz in the historic Marienne Quarter, the tower dominates the skyline of Mitte and far beyond. Visible across most of Berlin's suburbs, it rises 368 meters into the sky, making it the tallest structure in Germany and one of the tallest in Europe. When it was completed, it stood among the tallest freestanding structures on Earth, towering over a divided city, watching silently as history unfolded below. Known internally as Fernmeldeturm 32, the tower still serves its original purpose, transmitting radio and television signals across the city. But it also invites people upward, to an observation deck 203 meters above the ground, to a bar in the sky, and to a rotating restaurant where Berlin slowly turns beneath your feet. After reunification, the tower's meaning changed. What once symbolized division and power was transformed into something universal, a landmark of a reunited city. Today, the Fernsehturm is inseparable from Berlin's identity, a monument, a trademark, a constant presence in film, memory, and skyline. Welcoming over 1 million visitors each year, it stands not as a relic of the past, but as a reminder that even symbols can evolve. This is the Fernsehturm, Berlin's Tower of Time. At the heart of Paris, where avenues converge, a monument rises above the city's rhythm. This is the Arc de Triomphe. At the western end of the Champs-Élysées, where 12 grand avenues converge, the Arc de Triomphe stands at the center of Paris like a compass of history. Beneath it, the paving stones form a star, lines of stone radiating outward, guiding the city toward a single monumental point. Commissioned in the early 19th century, the Arc was built to honor those who fought and died for France during the Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. Carved into its stone are the names of victories and generals, etched not as decoration, but as memory, preserved in scale and permanence. Designed by architect Jean-François Chalgrin and inspired by the ancient Arch of Titus in Rome, the Arc de Triomphe was conceived as a modern symbol of national pride. Its sculpted figures, heroic, idealized, and powerful, set the tone for generations of public monuments built to project unity and sacrifice. Rising nearly 50 meters high, the monument dominates the city's historic axis, anchoring the line that stretches from the Louvre through the heart of Paris and onward toward La Défense. For decades, it stood as the tallest triumphal arch in the world, a benchmark against which others would be measured. Beneath its vast central vault lies the tomb of the unknown soldier from the First World War. An eternal flame burns here, rekindled each night, honoring those whose names were never known, but whose sacrifice shaped a nation. More than a monument of stone and scale, the Arc de Triomphe is a meeting point of past and present, where remembrance, architecture, and national identity converge at the heart of Paris. For nearly 15 centuries, one structure has stood at the crossroads of empires, built to honor divine wisdom. This is Hagia Sophia. First dedicated in the year 360 and rebuilt in its present form in 537 under Emperor Justinian I, it was designed to defy limits. Its vast interior space, crowned by a revolutionary pendentive dome, made it the largest cathedral on Earth and changed the course of architecture forever. For nearly 1,000 years, Hagia Sophia served as the Cathedral of Constantinople and the spiritual center of Eastern Orthodox Christianity. Here, emperors were crowned, doctrine was shaped, and history itself was divided. After the fall of Constantinople in 1453, Hagia Sophia entered a new chapter. Converted into a mosque by Mehmed the Conqueror, minarets rose beside its dome and Byzantine architecture began to influence a new empire. Its form would echo for centuries in mosques across Istanbul and beyond, bridging Byzantine vision and Ottoman grandeur. In 1935, Hagia Sophia became a museum, a shared space of memory, art, and humanity, and one of the most visited landmarks on Earth. In 2020, it was reclassified as a mosque once more, a decision that reignited global debate and underscored its enduring power as a symbol. Church, mosque, museum. Hagia Sophia is not defined by a single identity, but by its ability to carry them all. This is Hagia Sophia, a monument not only to faith, but to civilization itself. Built in the shadow of rebirth, designed to signal a new era, a symbol of resilience, ambition, and renewal. This is Tokyo Tower. Completed in 1958, Tokyo Tower was once the tallest structure in Japan, a lattice of steel inspired by the Eiffel Tower. painted in white and international orange to stand safely against the sky. For decades, it carried the voices and images of a nation, broadcasting radio and television signals across the capital. Below, life gathers at its base, museums, shops, and restaurants, before visitors rise to the observation decks above. At 150 meters, the city unfolds. Higher still, near 250 meters, Tokyo stretches beyond the horizon. Though a taller tower now stands nearby, Tokyo Tower remains, carefully repainted, continuously renewed, and forever woven into the city's image. In the years after the war, Japan searched for a signal, something strong enough to unite a region and symbolic enough to inspire a nation. As television spread across the Kanto region, the government envisioned a single tower, one structure powerful enough to replace dozens and bold enough to stand for recovery. Originally dreamed to rise higher than the Empire State Building, the tower's final height was shaped by necessity, not ambition, just tall enough to reach every corner of Tokyo. Designed by engineer Tachu Naito and inspired by the Eiffel Tower, it was built to endure, strong enough to withstand massive earthquakes and violent typhoons. Hundreds of craftsmen raised it skyward using steel forged from wartime wreckage, transforming remnants of conflict into a symbol of peace. In 1958, Tokyo Tower claimed the skyline, lighter than its Parisian inspiration, yet taller. Today, it no longer just transmits signals. It carries stories. This is Tokyo Tower, a beacon born from resilience. Rising from the clouds of the Pacific Northwest, one silhouette defines a city, built for a future once imagined. This is the Space Needle. Rising above Seattle's Lower Queen Anne neighborhood, the Space Needle stands as one of the city's most recognizable symbols. Built at Seattle Center for the 1962 World's Fair, it was created to represent innovation, optimism, and a vision of the future, welcoming more than 2.3 million visitors during the event. Soaring 605 feet into the sky, the Space Needle once held the title of the tallest structure west of the Mississippi River. Its wide saucer-like form spans 138 feet and weighs nearly 10,000 tons, engineered to endure the Pacific Northwest's extremes, winds reaching 200 miles per hour and earthquakes as powerful as a magnitude 9.0. In just 41 seconds, elevators carry visitors more than 500 feet above the ground to an observation deck suspended over the city. From this height, Seattle unfolds in every direction: the downtown skyline below, the Olympic and Cascade Mountains on the horizon, Mount Rainier and Mount Baker in the distance, and the waters of Elliott Bay and Puget Sound stretching beyond. Recognized for its cultural and architectural significance, the Space Needle was designated a historic landmark in 1999, remaining a defining presence on Seattle's skyline. The Space Needle's design is the result of a rare collaboration, part imagination, part engineering. Businessman Edward E. Carlson first envisioned a towering form sketched on a napkin, inspired by a giant balloon tethered to the ground. Architect John Graham Jr. imagined something more futuristic, a flying saucer suspended in the sky housing a restaurant and observation deck. Architect Victor Steinbruch brought these ideas together, shaping the tower's iconic hourglass profile and tripod base, echoing the narrow isthmus on which Seattle stands. For decades, the Needle's hovering disk held restaurants more than 500 feet above the city, where diners slowly turned with the skyline below. These spaces evolved over time, reflecting changing tastes and eras before closing in 2017. At the turn of the millennium, a powerful new symbol was added. The Legacy Light, also known as the Skybeam, now occasionally pierces the night sky, honoring holidays and special moments, its brilliance both celebrated and debated. Though early plans imagined grand spiral entrances and broadcasting towers, the Space Needle remains something else entirely, a sculptural landmark defined not by function, but by vision. Don't forget to click the link in the description for LingChat and get fluent faster with AI. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and click the video on screen for more.